morning. It's good to see you guys. It's Kirsten Liebelt. Come on in. It's Wednesday. How are you doing? Sun is shining in Minnesota. Happy, happy, happy. It's still a little chilly, but okay, whatever. Summer will come eventually. So how are you guys doing? I would love to know. It's kind of like that midweek check-in. It's always good. I find anyway, it's kind of like that Wednesday is that point of like, so how are we doing? How are we doing? Getting our feet stabilized throughout the week, I guess, is kind of how I don't know. Something in my brain, I've always thought that way. Anyway, if you are brand new to my content, will you put a 1 in the comments and just let me know that you are like brand spanking new. You just don't even know who I am. I would love to know. And then if you're on the replay, let me know you're on the replay, where you're coming in from. It's always super helpful. My name is Kirsten Liebelt. Hi, how you doing? I live in Minnesota, and I was raised by a type 2 insulin dependent dad who died at 63 from diabetes. And he was one of many in our Italian family that was very obese and had type 2. And I should probably try to find a picture of him every now and then. I don't have one really ready for today, but I should show you pictures of my dad. I think you guys would like that. But anyway, nonetheless, good to see you. Basically, I was myself gestational diabetic at 22. And then when I hit 50, I was a 2X in size and pre-diabetic by diagnosis. And I'm telling you, I did not see this on my bingo card 10 years ago. I did not see this at all. Oopsie, that was noisy. Sorry. At all on my bingo card. I was a sugar addict. I was like, food was very, it's an emotional connection. It's a traditional connection. It's a routine connection. It's you eat, we talked about this the other day. You eat because you're sad, bored, stressed, angry, whatever, right? So my whole life had been this, and learning how to target my supplementation and trade out my food ingredients while still being a foodie not only helped me to lose 3 sizes, but I've kept it off. And I feel like I want everybody to understand that sentence. We all know how to go on a diet, lose weight, and gain it back. Like, we know that pattern. That is a really common pattern. We know our own pattern, don't we? I didn't even have hope that I was going to break a pattern. I didn't even change anything because I thought, well, this time it's going to work. I would have never even said that sentence. I would have never even had that thought process. But what I understood over time was that once I understood like the keys to the kingdom, so to speak, that's how I feel. Like I got the keys. Now I have them for life, and I just share them with you. So, all right, housekeeping really, really quickly. Monday is March 2nd. Saturday is the last day of February. On March 2nd, in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, let me put that up for you guys. In the group, we will have our next 5-day challenge. This daily information is like one step in a step of progression that is already laid out for you. This is a done for you process. Okay. Most people are paying for the done for you process, and I'm aware of that. I'm very aware of that you can sign up for a program that's done for you. It's already laid out, and you can pay really good money for that. I don't do one-on-one coaching anymore. So I decided that my group coaching was going to be free $99. Anyway, that's another conversation. So daily, we have group coaching right here, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday. We've done this for 2 years. Then the challenge is in the group, and that's your monthly gathering where you are able to take in a free challenge where you are able to actually get the nuggets for your food ingredient trade outs. And then see like my own pantry, my own refrigerator, get like all the tips and tricks and the ability to ask questions that you've wanted to ask. And then we will go do a deep dive into supplementation. I give a brief overview literally every single day of the supplementation, but I can go deeper in the group. Okay, so that's Monday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday of next week. I'll go live every single day in the group. So don't miss out on that, and get in the group. Give your email. Tell them Kirsten sent you. That's how you get in. That is your little code of entry, right? So do that. And then the second piece of housekeeping before we get into infrared light therapy, because you guys requested this yesterday, so we're doing it today. Infrared light, we're going to talk about it. Saturday is the last day of the month. So for anybody who is wanting to literally, you get to steal the month of February if you want to, but it's only for those who have ears to hear. We are at the last few days of the month. And so if you've been thinking about getting the total body reset and doing a 90-day run, you can do February, March, and April as a registered customer, 150 or more. And on April, literally within the next 40 days, you can get your $75 off instead of waiting 90 days. You can cut your time in half by doing it February, March, April, but you're at the end of February. So I don't know if that is that girl math? Maybe that's girl math, but it's like literally you can steal the month of February by doing that. So if you are looking to be a brand new contributor to this community, you want to get on board, you're like, yeah, you know what? I do need a done for me process. I actually do need help in that area where I have access to ask questions and to work with somebody who's gone before me in the exact same ways. Like, I'm the only person in my family that's avoided type 2 diabetes, and I shouldn't have been because I was gestational. So we are going to move on. At the very end today, I will tell you, we're going to talk about infrared light therapy, number one. Number two, I will tell you then what the total body reset is. It's 6 pieces of supplementation that I personally have sourced for me in order to then help me lose my 3 sizes and keep it off, because I'm working with my liver, my gut, my insulin. I'm working on the inside. It's an inside job, baby. It's an inside job. And then I will share that with you. So that's all we're going to do today. So buckle up, Buttercup. Like, get your coffee, get your tea. Let's go. Let's say hi and see who's in the house. I'm so excited for you guys to be here. So we've got Marla. Good morning. So glad to be with you all. She says, Marla, that's fantastic. Good morning, sweet lady Patty out in California. Jan, I'm enjoying a pedicure while I'm listening to you. Oh, I want a pedicure. Do you know that I've been like stalking this place in Maple Grove? And actually, they do pedicures there, but okay, whatever. I do want a pedicure because my feet are white. Like, I am so pasty white and I should get some color. But there's this head massager place. Have you seen this? The streams of water that go up and down your head. And I've been thinking, oh, wouldn't that be fun? My daughter and I need to do that. Don't tell her. We need to go do something like that, maybe for Mother's Day, right? Good morning, Frances. She's on live today. Woohoo! That's fantastic. Deborah, good morning, she says. Good morning, Kirsten and friends. Grateful to be here, Deborah. So good to see you. Sherry, yay, good to see you in the house. Judy, good morning, Judy. It's so good to see you. Wow, Maryland, snowy New York. Are you guys still snowing? Or is it all done and you're just living in the snow globe now? It's one of those too, right? Good morning, Susan. Oh, wow. Okay. Gather around. We're going to talk about infrared light therapy today because we touched on it yesterday and you guys were like, I want to know about that. And I'm like, well, okay, I'm going to do some digging. I'm going to do some researching. And then I'm going to tell you, because if you don't know, I bought myself like this little red panel at the beginning of the year, and I'm really liking it. And I did some research before I bought the one that I have. I didn't get the cheapest one, and I most certainly didn't get the most expensive one, but I got the one that I felt was really good for, I matched value with efficacy and price. So I did all of that. And I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you like a breakdown of why it's a good one. Okay. Because I want to make sure that you guys know how to look for yourself. Joan, good morning. I'm so glad that you're here, Joan. Good to see you. I'm going to make one more little statement, okay, before we dive in. For all of you that are having the eye mask sent to you, be patient just a half a second. I was ordering them because, you order individually for each person. And it like flagged my card for a half a second. And I'm like, well, what's wrong? And it didn't tell me why. And it just said, update your information. And I'm like, but I can see it. Like the the expiration date is fine and da, 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 and I couldn't figure out. Now I realize they just wanted to make sure that it was me, because all of y'all placed your orders and you're getting your eye masks. So I just want you to know that that happened. So today I will be rectifying all of that. And anybody who I thought that I had sent out to, I thought that it had already been, it sat in a pending status. So I apologize for that. It's all coming. So you're good. One of you actually got yours lickety split. Like it was, I got a message like it showed me a picture of her front doorstep. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like she got it already. So I apologize. All right, we're going to jump in. Good morning, Jody. Good to see you. So you guys are like, you guys, you'll get all of your presents this morning. 3 inches more in New York. Oh, Maryland. OMG. That is crazy. That is crazy. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so infrared. What is infrared therapy? Infrared therapy uses light wavelengths that penetrate tissue and generate heat at the cellular level. So remember, we talk about how insulin resistance is a cellular conversation, period, because it is your cells that become resistant to taking in insulin and fuel, right? And it closes the door. So there are 3 main categories. Near infrared NIR, which penetrates your surface tissues and supports your mitochondria. Mid infrared and far infrared. So kind of like your eyeglasses, right? You're nearsighted, you're farsighted, right? Deeper heat, the far infrared is deeper heat, often used in saunas. Okay, so that's your basic understanding. Now, most metabolic research involves far infrared sauna therapy and red near infrared light therapy, which is called photobiomodulation. All right, so actually those were some of the things that I was looking up when I was purchasing my little panel, when I decided on my little panel, okay? And I think it's $150 or something. So it's not like $1,000 or something crazy. What research shows? Here we go. Heat exposure improves insulin sensitivity. A 2015 study in Cell Metabolism showed that heat treatment increased insulin sensitivity in obese men. Mechanism, heat shock proteins improved glucose metabolism. Now, this is just a little side note. I did not buy it for this reason, but this is just interesting information to take in, because as we layer kind of like the facets of a diamond, we layer the help for our body. We are more well-rounded than we're not. We're more alternative than we're not, right? We just want to layer things for ourselves, right? Heat therapy increases nitric oxide. Nitric oxide improves blood flow and glucose uptake. Impaired nitric oxide signaling is common in insulin resistance, okay? Repeated sauna use, okay? So I've been to an infrared sauna. Have you guys ever done this? It's actually a really lovely experience. I'm not going to lie. We thought we would go back a lot this winter, and we ended up not choosing just to take the time to do it. But there are these places that it's a franchise called Perspire. And so there are many around the cities. I'm in the Minneapolis area. And so there are many around the cities. And so you can book a session. You can go in there and you can literally have the heat, the red light therapy. So it's like a dry sauna, red light therapy. But then on the outside of your container that you're in is a big screen TV. So if you choose, you can use the remote and watch like YouTube or whatever you want to watch. They have subscriptions. And so that you can just kind of like relax and pass your time. So repeated sauna use linked to lower type 2 diabetes risk. Have you ever heard such a thing? This is news to me. Okay, this is very interesting information. So a large Finnish cohort study, JAMA Internal Medicine 2015. So you guys, right? What I tell you, like we're living in the time that we prayed for certain things back in the 80s and the 90s. When I talk about the visceral fat burner, it's like, this is Jetson stuff. the cartoon, the Jetsons, you know what I mean? Like we could only conceive of these types of things, right? So 2015 found frequent sauna use associated with lower risk of metabolic disease and cardiovascular events. What? That's wild. So insulin resistance isn't just about sugar, even though we do teach food, right? In this daily free content is basically mindset and education and encouragement, etc., so that you have daily, built-in help. But then inside the group, when we do the 5-day challenge, that's where we go into the food. So we do talk about sugar. We do talk about how you're spiking your sugars and calling on insulin, etc. But insulin resistance at its very, very core is impaired signaling and inflammation at the cellular level. Impaired signaling and inflammation at the cellular level. Okay? Infrared therapy may help improve that signaling environment. So that's what we're doing. You just started a membership there at a place that has a large infrared sauna and contrast therapy. There you go. Infrared saunas are amazing. Yes, they are. Isn't this something? So interesting how we are moving into a season, it feels like, and maybe a lot of this was prompted by the whole pandemic, where we really started to take ownership of our health. And then we started to kind of like look up and around as to what was available to help our bodies. I have been in conversation with somebody who, trying to remember her details. I never want to get them wrong, but it was a booster that ended up throwing her into type 2 diabetes and a lot of inflammation and all sorts of stuff. And she's like, could that possibly be true? Blah, blah, blah. So now I feel like we're being very reflective over different pieces because of, maybe our bodies having had issues over the last few years, right? So this is really good. So chronic inflammation drives. Now you have to hear me on this. When it says that you have impaired signaling and inflammation at the cellular level, listen up, because that tells you then that if insulin resistance is about impaired signaling, it's not connecting, wrong signaling, right? Okay, if it's about that and inflammation rising in your body, that means that when you turn back your insulin resistance, what happens? Okay, follow that track. Your signaling starts to match, starts to fire, it starts to match, and your inflammation is the core of all dis-ease. Okay, so follow that track, understand what you're trying to accomplish. This is how you will stay the course longer. This is how you will say, I'm not going to require my body to fix this in 2 weeks. I'm actually going to take something like when we talk about the total body reset, I'm going to go round, 90-day round after 90-day round after 90-day round, and I'm going to get my body to get its signaling back. I'm going to get my body to reduce its inflammation, because now this is where this comes in handy to understand. Chronic inflammation is driving these things in your body. Visceral fat. We may or may not talk about that every single day. Fatty liver. Elevated CRP. It's your reactive proteins, your inflammation, your markers. High fasting insulin. Research shows that regular sauna use lowers CRP, heat exposure reduces inflammatory cytokines, red light therapy reduces oxidative stress. Inflammation is one of the biggest blocks to fat burning in midlife women. Now, that doesn't mean you get into red light therapy saunas and then you just drop weight like crazy pants. That's not what that means, but it means that it's dealing with, again, this is, I think sometimes for me, this is the hardest piece of getting people to understand, because we've been so conditioned to just put Band-Aids on everything, that we don't go, oh, I need to go inside and do an inside job. And then I'm going to get my body to deliver me a different result. The result that my body has been delivering me right now is, man, I'm gaining belly fat. I'm gaining all this visceral fat. I just found out that I have a fatty liver. Like I have a high fasting insulin test that just showed up. I have like inflammation all over my body. Like I'm so inflamed. I'm so bloated. I'm so not sleeping. I'm so filled with anxiety. I'm so whatever. And it's an inside job. It's not meant to take a pill to fix. It's not meant to take a script to only sideline the symptoms. You can actually get your body to function again. You can detail your engine just like you detail your car. Okay. That's what we talk about here. All right. So this is not about sweating toxins. This is about reducing metabolic inflammation. I hope this is making sense because this is very exciting. I'm so glad you guys asked me to look this up because I feel like this is some of the best information that we can have for ourselves. I'm just telling you. So inflammation is one of the biggest blocks of fat burning in midlife women. Dang, right? That's crazy. So mitochondria and energy. Red and near infrared light stimulate cytokines and oxidase in mitochondria. Okay, that's a very fancy sentence, right? But what it's improving is ATP production, cellular energy, and metabolic efficiency. Insulin resistance is strongly linked to mitochondrial dysfunction. Mitochondrial dysfunction. This is why we talk about the gut, the gut, the gut, the gut. Because if you can reverse what's happening in your gut and your liver, I'm just telling you, your body will respond with less bloating, fat loss, all of those symptoms that we talked about. They'll start turning around and going the other direction. If your mitochondria are sluggish, your metabolism is sluggish. This is one reason that women will feel wired but tired, inflamed, and stuck in fat storage mode. Dang, right? So infrared supports energy production at the root. What do we talk about like every day? Root cause wellness, right? All right, hold on. Let's see what we got going on. Luana, good to see you. Shannon, good to see you. Hi, Terry. It's all good. As far back as being 8 years old, I saw my dad using a red, get out, hold on. I'm going to take that banner down. Let's get rid of that for a second. Okay. As far back as 8 years old, I saw my dad using a red light on his sore back muscles. I would like to try one for my own back. Isn't that interesting? That's really cool. Well, let's wrap it up here and I'll tell you exactly how to maybe gauge what you want to get. So cortisol and your nervous system regulation. As you can see, this is kind of a very multifaceted benefit, like a pool of benefit. Heat exposure activates parasympathetic tone, lowers stress markers over time, improves sleep quality. Chronic cortisol elevation worsens insulin resistance. So we talk about that a lot, about how if you feel like maybe like you're a little bit of a nervous Nelly, maybe you've got, you run high cortisol just because you go. And the fact that you want to get that down and you want to get down the inflammation caused by it. Okay, so I use ashwagandha. I use a triple blend magnesium to bring down my cortisol. I like using my vibration plate. I feel like that's very helpful. But then now there's fallout. So what do we do with that inflammation, right? So we want to get rid of that inflammation. So infrared may help calm the nervous system, indirectly improving insulin signaling. So it's not directly improving insulin signaling. It's indirectly helping that. Okay. So there's no magic jazz hands here. We're just talking about the overall benefits from red light therapy. Studies show Regular sauna use improves his endothelial function, lowers blood pressure, improves vascular elasticity. Visceral fat is tightly connected to cardiovascular dysfunction. I just shake my head because I'm like, so why are we not told that? Why are we not told that if we have a visceral fat scan done, like an in-body scan, and our visceral fat is high, that's connected to cardiovascular dysfunction? Why are we not told that? I don't understand. Such a simple thing for us to know. Heck, you can do an in-body scan at a gym. You don't even have to go to a freaking doctor to know what your visceral fat is. Anything that improves vascular health improves metabolic health. So this is what infrared is not. So the little panel that I'm using, and I'll show this to you, or I'll tell you about it here in just a second. It's not a fat melting shortcut. Oh, that we wish it was. It's not a replacement for lowering insulin. It's just not. It's not a replacement for nutrition or supplementation. Obviously, it's not giving you any of that. It's just a supportive therapy. So think of it like improving the terrain so your body can respond better. Okay, think of it more like that. So if you are struggling with things like fatty liver, belly fat, high fasting insulin, inflammation, fatigue, those types of things, infrared can support circulation, insulin signaling, inflammation reduction, mitochondrial function, nervous system regulation, but it works best when insulin is being addressed nutritionally and metabolically. Like, we have to come at this from many different conversations. This is why yesterday I talked about food in depth, because you cannot supplement a bad diet. I'm sorry, but you cannot be supplementing and then binging on sugar and thinking that that's going to work. That's fantasy land. You cannot keep your insulin high and think that you're just going to out supplement it. It doesn't work that way, right? So it's the same thing here. You still have to work nutritionally and metabolically to have your insulin resistance get turned around. This is a great supportive therapy for maybe some of the fallout of it, is how I see it. But 3 to 4 sessions a week, 15 to 30 minutes a day at a session, moderate heat, not extreme. And I would say mine is very moderate. Stay hydrated. That's normal. And avoid if uncontrolled blood pressure or if you have unstable heart conditions. So that's really good to know. Always consult your physician if medical conditions exist. That's kind of where that is. Now, the one that I purchased for myself, let me see here. I'll show you a picture of it, but I want you to know kind of how it rates. And then, you might find one that's even better for your budget, or maybe you even want a bigger one. I don't even know. So this is how I found out mine kind of rated. I kind of asked the question like, okay, this is what I bought. How is this rated in the world of infrared, et cetera? The wavelengths are really good. Strongly studied for skin circulation, inflammation, and mitochondrial stimulation. The near infrared, so that's the red light. And then there's near infrared, which penetrates deeper into the muscle and the tissue, better for metabolic support, muscle recovery, circulation, and possible pancreatic liver tissue depth. So this is good on the one that I got. These are the 2 most commonly studied therapeutic wavelengths in photobiomodulation research. So my rating for wavelengths that has been given to this, not by the company, but by like ChatGPT saying what's out there in the world, it's giving it a 9 out of 10. This is exactly what you want. Number 2, power and output, moderate. This is a smaller panel, and I wanted that for me because I wanted it to be portable. I wanted it to be simple. I just did not want something big in my house. Like, if I'm going to go do something on a deeper scale, I'm just going to go to the place, to the franchise. Okay, that's Perspire. So the smaller panel, it's considered kind of more of like an entry-level unit. The key factor is irradiance, which Amazon listings don't always clearly publish. Huga, which is the brand, typically runs moderate output compared to medical grade panel. So this is not a medical grade panel, okay? That means that it is good for localized areas, and that's what I use it for. abdomen, thyroid area, face, joints. Not ideal for full body systemic exposure because it's a smaller panel, right? It will require consistent use. I mean, that's kind of all of them. But the rating for metabolic impact potential is 7 out of 10, which I feel is good because it's $149. So the value they're saying is very strong. Just understand that you're not getting medical grade and it's not full body, which of course I knew that. But anyway, for insulin resistance specifically, if you are inflamed, you're stuck in stress mode, you're dealing with mitochondrial sluggishness, you're feeling metabolically cold or low energy, like your metabolism is whatever, the panel can support improved circulation, nitric oxide signaling, mitochondrial ATP production, reduced inflammatory markers, and nervous system regulation. But it does not lower insulin it does not lower insulin directly. And I don't think that I ever thought that it did. But it's interesting that it's just saying that. It improves the terrain so insulin signaling can function better. So is it worth it? Well, that's up to the person, right? That's up to the person and what you are looking for. Gloria, good morning. Good to see you. Very good to see you, because I wouldn't be able to give you a script if we had that information. Yeah, I know, Patty. It's just, no. Tyra, you just started using red light. That is awesome. That is so awesome. So the little one that I have, and again, you can always, like, maybe Huga has a different lineup too. I don't know, but I'll just show you the one I have. It's not on sale right now, nothing like that. But the easiest way just to find the things that I use is to go to KirstenLiebelt.com. That is my website. Hold on, I'll put that on the thing right there. Up at the top, KirstenLiebelt.com. That's my web address right there. And then when you go there, you'll see my face. And then when you see my face, the Amazon stuff is right here. There's like a pink shopping bag right there. It's right above. Yeah, it's right there. So I'm going to click on that, and the infrared is right there. And it's $149. And it has not been, I've not seen a sale on it since the beginning of the year. So if it ever does go on sale, yesterday we saw that the vibration plate was on sale. It says $99.99, but it's $89.99. It's actually, that's interesting. Yesterday it was down to $85. So if anybody who grabbed the vibration plate yesterday, you got $85. Now it's up to $89. Oh, the games they play. Oh, the games they play. So anyway, you just have to stay on top of stuff like that. But Huga, I think, that was a brand that was recommended to me to look up, to one of the better brands as far as having something. I should grab mine. Let me grab my infrared so you can see the size of it. Let me do that for you. I have it right here. Here. This is actually the size of it if anybody cares. So you can set it up on a thing. I'll put my feet on it sometimes, my bare feet. I'll put it up behind my neck like this, like if I'm sitting on the couch, and I can feel the heat on it. This is not plugged in, so I can't completely show you, but you can do red light therapy and near infrared. So you can have both red lights on here, and that's how you can then feel the heat. And then you can choose your 5, 10, 15-minute session, etc. So very simplistic, very easy to use, and I wanted it to be portable. So I can just bring it around my house. But as you can see, like the size of my head, like if you there, that'll be the gauge. So it's a little bit bigger than my head, but it's not that huge. So I like it. That is kind of the rundown of the infrared. I want to know who wants to try infrared. What did you think of that information? I want to know. Very portable. I know. I know I'm missing things. I would like to know, because so yesterday we talked about learning a little bit about infrared. Was any of that information surprising to you, or, what do you think? The color on There's like a filter on my Instagram. This is hysterical. This happened to me last week where all of a sudden, out of the blue, a filter just shows up. Like it just shows up. Like I didn't do anything. Isn't this funny? And I don't know where it comes from. And I don't know how to make it go away. No idea. So Instagram. And I remember thinking, this is about 2 weeks ago. And I remember looking at my Instagram thinking, that must just be me. And no, it was on the replay. It was very strange. You would like to try it, Francis? Yeah. Just interesting. I notice mostly like I use it to sit behind my neck because my neck can get tight just from working and being on computers and stuff. And it's just a therapy that really helps me in between my chiropractic appointments and such. And such a roo. So, okay, I am going to go over the total body reset, but I also want you guys to know, remember now that the 5-day challenge starts on Monday at 1 p.m. So don't miss out on that. Very surprising info. Wasn't sure about red light therapy. Maybe. Yeah. It's something I thought about for a really long time. If I want more, everything has a different benefit, but they do give you goggles. So if you want to do it towards your face, because it's very common now to use red light therapy, like for skincare to promote like collagen, whatever. Obviously very non-invasive. Yeah. I am surprised how much the infrared light does. I got it basically for your hip and leg pain. And has it helped, Tyra? Has it helped your hip and leg pain? Terry says she's going to check it out. Interested to see if it helps arthritis, pain, inflammation. Also, my son has chronic back pain due to a car accident years ago. Yeah. I'd like to know if Tyra feels like it has helped her because, maybe if somebody has something that's super chronic, maybe you do need a medical grade. Maybe you do need to go to a place that gives you, because there are infrared light beds. Like my chiropractor has an infrared light bed. So if I was dealing with a chronic pain, maybe I would need higher medical grade and this little portable thing wouldn't do it, right? She says it has helped. Okay. Yeah. I feel like, everybody's situation is going to be a little different and you're going to have to gauge it and then know whether or not it has been of any help at all. That's kind of how I think. So anyway, all right. So Monday is the 5-day challenge. And I hope everybody can join in. I really, really do. The group is Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. You can jump in there, give your email, tell them Kirsten sent you, and we'll go over the food part of your universe to help you because you need both. And, I will show you the total body reset, but please do not think that you can then just continue. Like you have to have intentional progression in your life. You have to trade things out. You can't keep doing what you're doing that got you into the pickle to begin with. That's not realistic. Wonder how it would be on your eczema patch as your birthday's coming up in March. Great gift idea. Good question. That's a good question, Marilyn. I don't know. Huh. Interesting. Okay. All these things you guys come up with. This is very interesting. So the total body reset, this is where I sourced products for myself and helped my own universe so that I could avoid type 2 diabetes. And I have effectively done that. I'm 61 years old now. My dad was 63 when he died with type 2. And I was on that train, man. My train had left the station. Like I have said so many times, I was a 2X in size and it really had done a number on my hormones in general. I think that some of my biggest red flags for me were brain fog was one of the very first things for sure. A lot of brain fog, a lot of anxiety. These were the things, and I had no idea that these were connected at the time. And just my weight kept going up and I couldn't get it to stabilize or go down no matter what I did. And so that felt very I felt very defeated in that conversation. But this is kind of where I was. This is me and my sister. And maybe that's not the best picture. Let me show you this one. That one's maybe a better one. Okay. So 2X in size, and I was just really kind of a mess. And I could have taken my 50s and done the same thing as my dad. Had I kept on the track that I was on, there's no question. Type 2 would have been my diagnosis. There's no question, because I was pre-diabetic. So train already left the station. And I just wanted to try to figure out how in the world was I going to figure this out, because I had no knowledge. So when I started supplementing, I started with these 3. And these are just 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. It was really basic for me because I wasn't a supplementer. So that for me was a big routine. That alone was a big routine, which is kind of silly, but that's just where I was, right? So there's my routine. And then I added in 3 more pieces for the total body reset. So this is 50% of it. And then this is the other half. So there's the gut primer that can help you with your inflammation, help you with your leaky gut. If you don't have a gallbladder, if you're just bloated all the time, and I really do want people to think about how do you want to feel come spring, come May? Where do you want to be in your own journey as you're heading into the summer, as you're heading into things? Because 90 days can change a lot for somebody. There are never guarantees, but 90 days can change a lot for somebody. And when you understand how you are getting your body from the inside out to deliver you a different result, you get pretty excited, because no longer are you trying to just patch yourself up and come at it from directions and programs that are not created for somebody who is insulin resistant. I think that's the biggest piece of the puzzle, which is the problem for most people. They're like, but I've tried this program and this program and this program and this program, and they didn't work. It must be me. How about you tried this program and this program and this program and this program, but they weren't created for an insulin resistant person? It's time I do something for an insulin resistant person. How about we change that conversation and we get your body to produce a different result than it's already producing, because it's producing you something. It's giving you something. What's it giving you? Maybe it's giving you anxiety and insomnia and acid reflux and fatty liver and exhaustion and sugar cravings and weight gain. And do we have to go on? What if you got your body to deliver you a different result? So this is the gut primer. It's a very comprehensive. This is not just a greens product, although it's rather done for you, right? It already has the greens that are fermented inside. It's very green tea, just fresh, turmeric-y, gingery. It's not my favorite flavor just because it's green tea, and I've never been a green tea person. I've never ordered a matcha in my life, not in my taste bud wheelhouse. So I just put this in a small amount of water with my berry aminos. That's what I do. This is what I do. And I basically a little bit of water, I froth it up and I take it like a wellness shot. Super not grainy. No, it's not sandy. It's nothing like that. It's not thick or sludgy. It's just liquid green tea is what it is. And but the beauty of what's inside of there is what is helping you get that bloat to come down and that impacted waste to start moving and giving you flow inside of your body. And I'll tell you, the testimonies that come out of people doing this type of a thought process where you are very intentionally working on your liver. Here's another one for your liver. Okay, half of the total body reset is for your liver. And then there's the fat burner, which is for your liver too. So this is the 4th piece. 5 and 6 are a probiotic powder on your tongue, 5 live strains. Visceral fat, this is a clinical dose of an extract, tastes like orange candy on your tongue. Once a day, do it for 90 days on, 30 days off. But those 6 pieces, this is where you get the total body reset. This is where the testimonies come from. And the number one thing that I cannot do for you, I can do a lot for you. I can, and I try. I try to do as much as I possibly can for you. But there's one thing that I absolutely cannot do for you. I cannot give you permission for your journey. I can't do that. It doesn't work that way. You have to give yourself permission for your journey. It is required of you to choose intentional progression. There is something required of you in this process. And if you don't choose it, then you'll stay where you are or get worse or whatever, right? That's just the way that is in any endeavor, whether it's your marriage, your business, your health, your weight, whatever it is. But only you can make that decision. So that's either very, very discouraging to you or it's very empowering to you. It's one or the other. Okay. And I always tell people like, okay, let's just look at this for a second. You have daily content for encouragement. Then you have monthly content inside of the group with the challenge so that you can have a marking point every month. Okay, here's a couple more things that I can implement. Execute. Next month, we have another one. Implement. Next month, we have another one. So you have the system. You have the done for you system already in place. The tracks of the train, have already been laid. So it's already laid down for you. But if you never, ever step into the train car, that is your responsibility, right? And it's a tough one because I was literally the queen of path of least resistance. Like, I wish I could go back and like give you videos of things that were in my head for all of those years prior, because I didn't do anything until I was 50. So being the queen of path of least resistance, like that's probably not too hard to imagine that was true. That's how I ended up 2X. That's how I ended up pre-diabetic. That's how I ended up not taking care of my sugars and my mother being on me, white on rice, baby. But if you'll give yourself permission for a 90-day journey, as a registered customer, the customer campaign says that when you purchase $150 or more 3 months in a row, you get $75 off your third month. Well, this is February. And it's the end of February. You literally only have 3 days left in the month. Come Sunday, it's done. We're into March. Sunday is March. But if you start at the end of February as like a new customer, or if you just have been like you've been a customer before, but you haven't been ordered in a while, whatever. You start in February, at the end of February, and then immediately in March when you purchase again, and then April, it's the $75 off. It's a very short. I always look at that like you're stealing a month. So you kind of get to do that. For those who are active, like action takers, if you're an action taker, if you're that. But in 90 days, what can happen in 90 days? You might be asking, what can happen in 90 days? Well, these are testimonies that have been sent to me. I always like to point out, I don't think people comprehend, because I would not have comprehended. I would not have. If I've been in your shoes, I would not have comprehended. When a company puts out a program, a weight loss program, like the ones that are in the mall, the strip malls, the name of the lady, or a system, or whatever. It's a company that's created something and then they market that something. And so their testimonies are corporate testimonies. Okay. I just want you to wrap your brain around that for a second. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with corporate testimonies. I'm just saying they're corporate testimonies. You will never get closer to a testimony in your life than you will be right now, because these are testimonies sent to me from you. So none of this is prepackaged. This is me sourcing product for me and then sharing it with you. But then the testimonies come from you to me. So this is not coming down from corporate, where I may or may not know whether or not it's true. Like I know you, I know your story. Okay. So 90 days. This is one of the total body reset testimonials. I put it in a pretty thing. Lost 20 pounds, 3 inches off her bust, 2 inches off her waist, and 2.5 inches off her hips. One that's under 60 days, lost 22 pounds, sleeping better, clothes fit more comfortably. Okay, that was under 60 days at one point. Another 90 days. Now here's one with numbers. She lost 60 pounds in 90 days, but her A1C went down from a 6.5. It went from a 6.5 down to a 5.1. That's amazing. That is amazing. I have so many testimonies in my phone. You have no idea. I'm trying to see if I know how long. Okay. In 3.5 months, you might be on here. In 3.5 months, and she's been on it longer now, but in 3.5 months, she said, I'm so stoked this morning. I measured and I've lost 8 inches all over, 13 pounds. Yeah. 8 inches, 13 pounds. That was a 90-day one also. So somebody getting off of omeprazole after 6 weeks, 12 days on the total body reset, down a few pounds, much less food noise, able to get off the couch and accomplish household duties. Blood sugar has come down from the 130s to the 110s. And I do want you to understand that, here's another one. A win for me, I lost 9 pounds in 2 months. Before I couldn't lose any weight and kept going higher than ever before. That was me, you guys, that was me. With this supplementation, I'm feeling much better, more energetic. Thank you for your help. I'm going to keep going. You're on here. I didn't see who it was. You're on here. I'm just telling you, if you can understand the biological concept of if your liver is sluggish, you will not burn fat, period. If your insulin is high, you will not burn fat, period. Your liver, 50%, this is liver. And the reason why is because your liver will regulate your hormones. Insulin is a hormone. Your liver will regulate the glucose in your blood. Your liver will clear insulin. It will clear bad estrogen. It will clear cortisol if it is working properly. So your liver is like the biggest piece of the puzzle. And that does mean that you then do have to stop things that are making it worse. Every time you're eating you're like, I just can't get a hold of my sugar cravings. And so I'm eating sugar every night or whatever. You're raising your sugar, you're calling on insulin, and you're adding to the problem every single time. So if you want to stop what got you into the pickle to begin with, you do have to have that intentional progression of trading out a recipe, trading out an ingredient, whatever. But you can be working then it's like in the coal mine, right? So in the coal mine, while you're doing all this up on top, and you're like, okay, I'm going to trade out my pantry. I'm going to get another recipe from Maria Emmerich. I'm going to go to All Day I Dream About Food, and I'm going to get my favorite dessert going, and I'm going to learn a new trick and a new whatever. I love custard. I'm going to learn how to make a keto custard or whatever it is. But down in the coal mines, down here inside of your liver and your whole system, all of this visceral fat that's around your trunk, it's like, make sure that you're measuring under your boob, your waist, and your hips. Make sure that you're measuring those 3 places, because down there underneath where you can't see what's happening, it's kind of like little workers are going to work. And they're working on your visceral fat, and they're working on the lining of your gut, and they're working on your liver, like come on, flow. We need more flow. We need thinner bile. We need more flow. We need like that impacted waste to move on. All of this stuff is happening under the surface while you're working on the things that you can see. And that's why I spent so much time yesterday going over food. You have to have that shift in mindset so that you can be doing both and like, let's freaking go. Let's get your body to deliver you a different result over the next 90 days. Assess and then do it again. Assess and then do it again. It's round after round after round. But in the meantime, you have all of the support that you could ever possibly need. And especially because all of you guys are so amazing to each other. You guys are incredible. Okay, hold on. I'm going to read some of your comments. You guys are chatting. You think this will be your 20-second challenge, Terry? such a rock star. It is a success principle. Small things done daily or monthly, added up over time, will give you results in building business, in your marriage, in your health, in your weight loss. Small things done daily, monthly, over time will deliver you results. Sometimes there's some tweaking in the middle. Are we shocked? I don't think we're shocked. I don't think we really are. Sometimes you have to tweak. It's okay. So what? So what? What else were you going to do? You know? The first three that I started with are, thank you for asking, Tyra. The first three that I started with were these three. But I'm going to tell you, I have to tell you something. So these are the three right here. Basically, I call them the trio. But this one is being reformulated. It's being reformulated. So in April, this will no longer be available. I will find you an alternative. I've been testing. I'm just not sure about it. So I'm going back to the drawing board, not going to lie. Okay. But I will have something for you from another line. I will figure it out. They're going back to the drawing board on this one. And so it won't be available in April. You guys are actually doing a really good job. Probably everybody that's on here, you've probably already stocked up on it. It's the least expensive one of all six. It's $26, and it's the glucose one. But glucose, and then this is for your liver, and this one's for your metabolism. So these are the three that I have started with. Okay? Those are the three. Because again, liver, liver, liver. Some people want to do only the three that are for the liver. I'm not trying to mess you up here, but I want to give you that thought process. Some people only want to do these three. The primer, the liver tablet, and the visceral fat burner. Okay? I'm not going to try to mess you up. Some people want to only do those three. Liver, liver, liver. And they just want to start somewhere. And it will get you into the customer campaign. It will be the 150 or more so that you can be getting that $75 off your third order. And I'll show you where that is because I did put that recently. I had it on my site and then I took it off. I was reconfiguring a few things and I put it back on just for this purpose because there are some people who are like, I just want to start with a liver reset. That's where I want to start. Perfect. And then you know what? It doesn't matter anyway, in the sense that you need to own what you are starting with and then just be consistent. Don't require your body to deliver you a result in 2 weeks. Whatever you just own it. Own it. So if you go to my site, KirstenLiebelt.com, it's up at the top for Facebook and YouTube. And for you guys, it's right here. But if you go to KirstenLiebelt.com, there are 3 buttons right here at the top. Right there. There's my face. 3 buttons right there. Okay. The first button says, oh, that's the vibration plate. I forgot it was there. Oh, my stars. Oh, my stars. Okay. The second button is the total body reset. Hold on. The second button is the total body reset. And then the third button is, you can see where it says liver reset. Okay. So they're right there for you. So the second one is the total body reset. That will tell you everything in a cart, bunch of free stuff, 9-minute video explaining the total body reset, my story, testimonies, all of everything you want to know. On the liver reset one, what do I have on there? Story. I'm actually just breaking down those 3. Cart, free protein blueprint, egg white bread recipe, free testimonies. There you go. That's what you got. So no matter where you go on my stuff, you should find free resources. You should find a way to get into like the Facebook group, give your email, tell them Kirsten sent you, that kind of stuff. You should find good stuff. When you're on my site, you should feel like, wow. I want you to feel like, oh, wow, she actually resourced me. Look at this. On my front page of my website, remember there's my face. On the front page, here's a bunch of free stuff. Free protein blueprint, pantry and recipes, egg custard, keto lasagna, egg white protein bread, sugar-free chocolate pudding. All of my contact information is down at the bottom. You should feel encouraged and enveloped and supported, and you should feel like this is a done-for-you system. Your responsibility is to give yourself permission. Your responsibility is to make sure that you actually like stay on top of your own routine and that you plug in to the free content. Okay, that's your part of the thing. And I want my part of the thing to be where I can come alongside of you and go, listen, I am the least likeliest person ever on the face of the planet to have lost 3 sizes and kept it off and avoided type 2 diabetes. How is this my life? Let me help you. Let me encourage you. Let me give you mindset. Let me show you how to take one little step at a time. And let me tell you how you can do it without shame or disappointment or mean girl in your head to yourself. No more mean girl. Stop it. You don't have to do that. You cannot heal a body in shame. Stop it. No more. Okay. So Terry, still tweaking, content, support, and encouragement found here made all the difference. Oh, content. Oh, Terry, I'm going to put that up. You know I am. Thank you, Terry. I'm so grateful, but you have to understand, you guys do the work. You guys get the labs. You guys give me the testimonies. You guys do all of your thing. I'm one person that did my one thing. But now we have this collective of all of you doing your thing and then sending me your results. And it's like, I am so convinced that once we are at the beginning of the beginning of the beginning of understanding that we can take this back and do all of this for ourselves. This is think about this. And when you think about history in general, like if it has been 50, 60, 70 years of trash information given to us by our medical community and our government, which is true. If that's the case, right? It's just 50, 60, 70 years of this. And it's only been, let's just pretend, since I know some other people earlier, but let's just pretend 2020 really woke us up to being our own advocates. Oh no, we got to take care of ourselves. Oh no, we better figure things out because we actually can't get to the doctor, or we can't get in, or we can't, whatever it was for us. Everybody's got their own story, right? Or you realized your immune system wasn't what it needed to be, or whatever it was. Think about how fresh this is. Think about how new this is of us taking back our own health and going, I'm actually smart enough. I'm bright enough. I can figure this out. Like, we're not lacking help. There's a lot of really good information out there because of the onset of all of the video. You guys sit on video all day long, right? Every day you come here and you watch me on video. This was not available 10 years ago. Do you understand that? Live video was not available 10 years ago. 10. This is fresh. This is new. We are at the beginning of the beginning of the beginning of the beginning of a metabolic revolution. We now even have our government lining up and changing the food pyramid. Like, praise the Lord. Is it not time that we stop fearing the bullying of the industries that wanted us to eat the way that they wanted to make the food? And trash it was. Trash it still is. We have to eat real food. We have to stop trying to cut corners and thinking we're going to get amazing results. No, you're not. It's not how that works. So I hope that people do feel that. Anyway, so I hope that answered your question, Tyra. I'm sure that it did. Does anybody have any other questions before we jump off? Because then I will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. They are for men, Mary. Are they for men also? They are for men. I have a husband and wife doing this together. They're both doing the total body reset, and they're in their 60s and they're getting really good results. So yes, this is not any respecter because we are all liver, gut, and insulin. We are all needing those systems to get better for our bodies. You're welcome, Mary. It's actually really, I feel like you are very blessed if your husband will do this with you, because most of you, that's not the conversation I have with you. Most of you, you're like, oh, dang it. You know, like he's making it harder on me, or he thinks that, you know, this is just a waste of my time or whatever. And it's like, if you have a husband that will do this with you, this is awesome, because then you can take back your health together. I did this all by myself. Everybody looked at me around me and they're like, what are you doing? You weirdo. You're making a chocolate pudding out of like egg whites. What are you doing? And I just went, la, 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 la. I'm not listening. I go, yeah, kind of weird. Yep. And I just kept going. And guess now who eats more like me than doesn't? My husband. Because now he understands how much better he feels. What I make is really good. Like, I love my food. They just told you that the only way that food was going to taste good is if it was ultra processed and trash. So you believed it. But the truth is, like, that's a lie. The truth is that real food tastes amazing. Like, think about it. If you went to a French restaurant in France and they served you real food with real cream sauces, you'd be like, oh, this is amazing. It's because they're feeding you real food that they culinarily, I'm sure that's not a word, but it's put together with all of the knowledge of chefery. Listen to me make up my own language. But they took all of their culinary skills and they implemented them into like the most amazing meal. And it's all real food. So why not make real food at home and enjoy your real food at home? Marilyn says, yes, I wish this information was years ago, but it's never too late. It is not too late, Marilyn. Ever, ever, ever. I'm 61 and just getting started myself. We can heal with foods and now supplements. So happy I found you. What a blessing. Oh, Marilyn. I want to come to New York and meet you. I want to come to New York. Almost went there a year ago. No, was it a year ago? We were going to go. And we had a trip scheduled. Actually, we were going to go to Philadelphia. And we had a really very knowledgeable business associate in our larger business team, in our national business team, that has, he's just really historical knowledge. And he was going to give us tours. And we were going to do some really amazing things. And it was the time that they literally closed down federal buildings. And so we couldn't do it. But we are almost out that way. So anyway, Marilyn, you're awesome. Thank you so much. All right. So I will see everybody at 11 a.m. Central tomorrow. If you need anything in the meantime, please let me know. The end of the month is really, really busy for me as I am wrapping up business, but I will definitely take the time to answer a DM if you have one. If you want to get in before March, which is Sunday, on getting started with your customer campaign or restarting it, you did it maybe a while ago and you want to restart it, let me know. And if I don't get back to you like right away, I promise you I will, because I'm always very committed to make sure that at the end of the month, I'm not leaving anybody behind. And if you are due an eye mask, it is coming. I just had to like update my information. I think they thought I was buying too many too fast. And so they were like, we're not so sure this is you. We would like you to validate your credit card information. I'm like, what is going on? So anyway, that's what's happening. You're getting your $75 off today, Debbie. Woohoo! I'm so happy for you. I love this program. It's the best program ever. Great info on infrared therapy, Francis says. That is awesome. All right. See you guys later. I'm going to go get busy with all of my end of month business, and you have such a great day. I'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central. Bye.